Next up on the show, we have Mason. Mason wants to debate gender affirming care for minors. Mason, hello, are you there?
Yeah, hello. I'm here. Sorry about that.
No problem. Mason, can I get your age and pronouns, please?
26, he, him.
Okay. And you want to debate gender affirming care for minors. Is that correct, Mason?
Yes, potentially. It depends on where your stance truly is with it, because there's a large sliding scale there.
Okay, go ahead.
So basically, I think that, like, prepubescent and I forget the word, but the word that means that they're going through puberty, like, actively, should not be getting hormonal or, like, surgical changes. Like, there should not be major physical changes made to the body at that point. Just because that can end up causing lasting issues for somebody who might be experiencing gender dysphoria, and that can go backwards. Like, you know.
Okay, hold on.
People can believe one thing and then change.
Okay, hold on. Just so that we're aware. You don't think that people who are trans, that youth who are trans, should be allowed any sort of gender affirming medical care? Is that what you're saying?
Not without counsel of their guardian.
Okay, well that's the standard.
I should say
that's the
like
standard
the
for
hormonal and surgical. But.
So as long as they have parental permission, you agree that they should be able to get access to these things.
Yes.
Okay, that's the standard.
Personally, I think it's still a bad idea, and for like mine, but
I mean,
like,
that's fine, but that's the standard. That's the standard for just that's the standard for all medical care for anybody under the age of like 15 in the U.S. Like they have to go through their parents.
Under the I know that in Kentucky that's not the case.
In Kentucky,
I don't know about elsewhere. I've not researched
in Kentucky, prepubescent children can make medical decisions without their parents?
Yes. Like, to put it in perspective, back when I was 11 at the time, I got prescribed with ADHD meds long before my parents knew about it. I then ended up overdosing on it because of this, and it was a big deal. But, yeah, it was a whole fiasco.
So Kentucky's revised statute, Title XV 111 for public health says any physician upon and this was revised. This is current as of January 1st, 2024. Any physician upon consultation by a minor as a patient with the consent of such minor may make a diagnostic examination for venereal disease, pregnancy, or substance use disorder, and may advise, prescribe for, and treat such minor regarding venereal disease, substance use disorder, contraception, pregnancy, or childbirth without consent or notification of the parent. So it's just those things. The section does not include abortion or sterilization. Those must be done with a parent. So it's just about treating venereal diseases, substance use disorders, contraception, or pregnancy or childbirth. Those things can be done without a parent.
That I can get behind.
Yeah,
like I said, I've not been around it. I'm not super well educated.
Yeah, everything else they would need their parents or guardians' consent.
To quote the guy before me, I have heard of people getting a lot of things done without their parents being all right with it, and it leads down to some dark roads a lot of the time.
I think there is something to be said about parents who don't know enough about gender affirming care blocking it for their children because they are unaware of the actual effects and the actual benefits to it. I think there is something to be said about if a kid is hyper suicidal and being admitted into fucking inpatient care because they're like a threat to their own safety, and knowing that if they went through this one treatment, they may be alleviated from that, but the parents are refusing. I think you would have a case to present this in front of a judge to allow a doctor to take medical proxy in that case. But for the most part, most decisions are going to be made with the parents because that's just the law.
Okay. Like, as long as, like, parents are consulted, then honestly, I'm fine with it. I personally disagree with most of the care, based on some stats on just people having regrets of it at a young age. But people regret most of the things they do as kids.
I mean, the regret rate of gender affirming care for youth sits at like 1%. So like most people who get gender affirming care when they're young don't actually regret it.
I could have sworn it was not that.
Nope, it is. I can give you an exact study.
Like I said, like, this is not a topic I go into a lot, so it's not
if you'd like a study, I can give you one.
You know,
so that you have it.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second to pull it up. So this study is called Re-Identification with Birth Registered Sex in a Western Australian Pediatric Gender Clinic Cohort. And what it found that everybody that went in and got like referred to a gender clinic and were transitioning, 93.1% of all the people who transitioned, which was only hold on, let me pull up the actual percentage of people that transitioned.
And is that of people who fully transition, or because I know some of the studies do gender affirming care as a blanket statement?
So there were 4.8% of people detransitioned prior to of the whole population. 4.8% detransitioned. Okay. Prior to receiving any sort of medical affirming care, and only 1% of people detransitioned after receiving like medical hormones or puberty blockers. So typically what we see is when they are
honestly not bad.
Yeah, so typically what we see is it's not like detransition is not really happening in the way that that it's being claimed that it is.
Well, is it so? This is me just completely in my head. I don't know anything about it, but is it people are only detransitioning at such a low percentage because of they're not necessarily wanting to detransition, or is it the case of it's risky, difficult, expensive?
So so typically
why people don't transition.
The biggest reason for detransition is cost and societal acceptance and like familial acceptance. There are people who detransition because they realize that either A, it's just not for them, or they may have a different realization about what their gender identity actually is and go, oh, I don't think I'm actually a woman. I want to detransition. Those people do exist. They are the minority in this case. Most people who receive gender affirming medical care, for instance, like there was a study that looked at 27 different peer-reviewed studies. It was like a meta-analysis, and it looked at total regret for surgeries, and the total regret for like gender affirming surgeries was at like 1%. So the people who do go like through their full transition, going all the way through like surgical transition, tend to have a very low level of regret rate. That doesn't mean that there aren't people that do regret and detransition for other reasons. It's just it's a very low percentage of people. Most people detransition before they receive any medical treatment.
Okay. Like, keep in mind, I'm from the middle of like nowhere, Kentucky, so my sources are limited to say the least.
Okay, no problem.
But also, this is a bit of a topic change since it sounds like I more or less agree with you on it then, but they're good to have it. If you're all right with the topic change, I'm not trying to like jump around on you.
As long as it's a topic on the board, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually one that I heard you talking about earlier that kind of came up. You were talking about the bathrooms thing. Like for trans people going into the different bathrooms and stuff.
Yeah. What about it?
This is a personal experience thing. The issue is not with trans people. It's with people who are not trans trying to claim to be trans, and then that causing issues. So it's the issue of policing it is the hardest problem with it.
Well, so the problem is it's that most people that go into a bathroom to commit assault, which is low to begin with, most assault happens in and or around the home by somebody you know. The problem with this claim as well that says that like there's really not many people that are dressing up. Like if somebody wants to assault someone, it's not the case that they're going to like dress up as a woman, go into the bathroom, hope that you're alone in the bathroom, and then try to assault you, right? And a second issue we have is let's say we go with what the conservative right is pushing for. We say, okay, we want to make sure people don't get assaulted, so we are going to make sure that you can only go into the bathroom by sex. Well, now what's going to happen is you might have somebody that looks exactly like me or very similar to me who's a trans man, who is born female, but because they've gone through gender-affirming care and gender-affirming surgery on the medical level, they now look indistinguishable from a cisgender man, and they're going into the bathroom. Now, men don't even have to dress up in dresses. All they have to do is claim that they're trans men to go into the bathroom. So even if we are operating under the idea that there are cisgender men who are willing to disguise themselves to go assault women, right, that this is like some big issue, well, now you've just made it a lot easier for them. They don't even have to put on a disguise anymore.
This is one of the things I know from experience. I got in a fight with a couple of guys because when it first started, my dad, who is that very far right leaning person you're thinking about, like think military redneck, like I was raised to hate Muslims. Like it was a wild ride. He pretty much explained to me that nobody who looks like a dude's allowed to go into the female bathroom if I'm a rep. So I got in fights over it. Now, looking back and knowing what I know now, I ended up getting in a couple of fights with guys who were not needing to go into the female bathroom. They were wanting to go in there to maybe not actually assault anybody, but just to like be a problem. And that is not okay.
Sure, but this has nothing to do with trans.
To be fair, that's like in a high school and when things were first starting off, and like people are, especially in high school, people are pricks. But like that is the concern.
Yeah, but your concern is not with trans women. Your concern would be with cisgender men.
No. Absolutely.
So policing 100%. The way. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Policing the way trans women use a bathroom then does not accomplish your goal of stopping cis men from being weirdos.
Right. My thing is that's where the issue comes in and why everybody gets all in a bunch over it just because they see the cis men doing it. And that makes it a difficult thing to police, which is why it's harder to have that.
Yeah, I think
I'm saying that's why this is an issue.
It would be so much harder to police it the other way. It'd be way harder to police it the other way.
Like personally, my best bet is, as people look. But like you said, kind of hard to make that work because you never know. But yeah, like those were my main points on everything you had going on.
Okay.
I think that your third point is an oxymoron in itself. Something can't both not exist and be evil. But then again, like,
let me ask you a real question real quick.
I get
let me
what you're going at for it.
Wait. Let me ask you a question. You've seen Star Wars, right?
Some of them. I don't get much time to watch much of anything.
What's your? Have you seen any? Okay, you haven't seen Star Wars. What about Harry Potter? You seen Harry Potter?
Yes, I've read those.
Okay, is Voldemort evil?
Depends on definition, but to entertain it, I'll say yes.
Okay, but he's not real.
He is within that world.
There you go. Same thing as point 3. I don't believe the Christian God is real, but I don't believe the Christian God is real because I believe the Bible is a made-up fictional book, and because of this, I would say that in the world of the Bible, he is evil. In the world that book sets up, he would be evil.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Well, I have to say I disagree with both of those points then.
Okay.
But I also don't think that there is a good and evil. So it's kind of like, to put it in perspective, everybody is going to say that they are good from whatever perspective they're coming from. And
sure,
with that means that good and evil itself cannot exist outside of perspective.
Sure, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree.
So because of that, I think that saying that any person or thing is good or evil is more accurately just saying that you disagree with the beliefs or morals or ethics or whatever the thing is of that thing. And now I will say I disagree with what most of the modern Christian church does or acts as, but I'm Christian and I obviously believe I'm good I'm good. Now, does that mean that everybody who says they're a Christian is good? No. I think that the true Christians are. I just don't think there's many of them around. So
okay.
That's why I get into the whole I disagree that God is evil, and I also obviously think that he's real.
Okay.
I should say I voted for Trump. At this point I regret it. Whoops. But
all right, well that's something, I guess.
that's about the best I can give you on what you got.
All right, no problem.
I wish you luck with the rest of your chats, man.
All right, well, thank you for thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, thank you all for watching this video. If you don't know me, I'm Jovan Bradley. I'm a leftist content creator who does debates, political commentary, gaming, and more. If this is your first video, thanks for sticking to the end, and I hope you subscribe. I post videos daily, and there are hundreds of past debates on my page for you to enjoy. Thank you to all of my YouTube members. Your continued support helps me create as much as I can. Consider joining. A membership starts at $2.99 and gets you access to our community Discord, early access to videos, and more. Shout out to my Tier 4 members, Zurith Moonpaw, Kazim, Never Again, Ovaltine, Sylvia Snow, Bamji, Emery Emojin, Ayla Ursus, Vel, Kelsey K, Jake Gorshander, Matthew Holloway, Vampy, Yemye, Mealy, and Dragon Nerd. Your continued support goes a long way to me continuing the fight for equity, justice, and education. Thank you again for watching.